and our priorities are not looked at. So this is what is happening even now. The young
who is using these young people?
Yes, the different candidates. The different candidates. We are not seeing any of them put our agendas or put our needs in their manifestos. We are not seeing anyone come up to see how they are going to solve the issue of unemployment. We are not seeing anyone address our challenges. So we feel we are being used.
At least some candidates are speaking about PDM and other government programs.
Even the jobs, 10 million.
Giving out borders and promising 10 million jobs.
Yes, they are talking about them, but you can ask yourself who, like the kind of budgeting is not clear. It is not clear that this is the money clearly allocated for the young people. If it is innovation and all these projects they are talking about, the budget allocation is not clear. And that's why we say we are being used. At the end of the day, as the young people, we demand and say that our dear leaders, let's be included on your plans. If you're a member of parliament, you're pushing for a certain constituency, the plans for the young people, what you're planning to do them should be very clear, that we can even follow the accountability, that we can even hold you accountable in case you don't do it, than just using us in the period of the campaigns and our voices are suppressed. At the end of the day, we do not get anything.
Thank you so much, Bresius Namirembe, the DP candidate for the youth member of parliament representing Western region. And let me quickly, before we delve into the discussion of the politics in the region, let me throw it quickly to Baguma and Doctor. The issue she has just raised about the messages during these presidential campaigns, not actually factoring in the concerns of the youth, when actually they are the majority of the population in Uganda. What do you see? Is it true, Doctor?
Well, if you look at various manifestos, I think there are messages of the young people in there. Like if you look at the President's manifesto, it's more of a national program, just extracted from what the government is doing around the youth, be it the percentages of the money in PDM. You know how it is shared. They say this percentage is for women, this is for youth, this is for people with disabilities. These programs, including, they're talking about involving the young people in decision making through representation at various organs. They're talking about the return of the youth livelihood programs. Their messages are there. But I think the challenge that we see is that, especially where you have a permanent government, for continuous
permanent
because if a government has been there for the same regime for 39 years, even when there is no impact, I think that is where the challenge comes from. But also I have always, every forum I'm getting now, I'm telling the young people that you are the majority in the voting fraction, so don't cry about being victims now, because you are in the driving seat to decide who is supposed to lead you and who is not. But also because of the level of vulnerability, like poverty, money is a key factor. That is true, that she may be competent as she is, but she may not be elected. And as I predict, how we have observed how youth elections are conducted. The electoral college, you find someone comes with money and hides all the delegates. And that's why
we had instances of delegates being ferried to a neighboring country during the NRM.
Exactly. And on Thursday, we were in a high-level dialogue on elections and human rights. These are matters we put to Justice Byabakama. Why has the Electoral Commission failed to term politicians who hide delegates even in the national election? Because if an election is scheduled to be in a hotel in Jinja, you find a rich candidate, a son of a rich politician or a rich businessman, hiding the delegates, say in Iganga. And all other candidates cannot access the delegates. Even the polling officials are just sitting in the hotel. They don't know whether the voters will turn up or not. Yet, they have paid the facilitation, but the guys that have given facilitation are being hidden drinking alcohol somewhere else. So it's a challenge we have in our electoral system. And I think we have just chosen to give people Panadol, that when they feel they are not getting what they feel they are not getting, let them choose, give them constituencies, give them to participate, so that they cool off, and then they go home. But the process we are taking, the leadership we get as an outcome of a fraudulent process, they don't have manners, they reach office, they steal, whatever they lay their hands on, it's a big problem.
A big problem. You tell the youth not to lament.
There are many. If they rise up and use their vote and protect and decide on the right candidate. But like I told you, a country which is not civically competent, where people have not been sensitized about governance, you know, you will have a person who will drink a bottle of warrage in the evening, and when he's going to tick someone, what will be in the mind is the warrage he drank yesterday.
Richard, did you see the issue raised by Namilembe? A serious concern as far as the presidential campaigns are going, and do you think it's time, possibly, for the youth to stop lamenting and use their vote to make their voices heard?
So, I've been involved in political processes as a young person too, in leadership positions, in school, but also in national youth processes. But Werike too has been active to the point of being subversive almost. Against our dispensation. So we've been active, really, upward. Now, I had this discussion the other day about youth participation and being kept out, and this time, and I asked the young person I had to go on the show, another show yesterday. And I said, at what point in the history of humanity and the history of Uganda have youth not taken the mantle to lead change? And I said, let's start with the anti-colonial movement. How old was Mutesa? How old was Obote? How old was Musazi when they started? How
Were
old?
they in the early 30s?
They were 20-something youth. They are in the youth. Let's go to the people who have fought wars, who got angry, fought wars to take power themselves.
They were in the 20s.
How old were they? The messages. So I don't, for me, I don't listen with sympathy to the lamenting.
Okay.
No, that one I don't. And I told them, I have been there. I've told your story, how we took the guild, how we went into the National Students' Council, and did all the things. So that's one. The current crop of youth, and as you know, I have a lot of groups I deal with in this special. They have allowed to let themselves down because they get both cheap.
Oh, yeah. They have allowed.
You have mentioned
to be used.
You see that you go and blame Biabakama for some people sitting in a hotel and not coming to vote. So what do you want Biabakama to do? Go tear gas them out of the hotel? Above 18, they have their vote. They came to vote. They have allowed themselves. I was telling you, somebody took about 1/5 of them. I went. They were being entertained. Then they bring this musician today. I said, "What? You can't have come to watch musicians. Ladies and gentlemen, you came to choose your leaders who are consequential, and you know it is even more consequential because they are going to be your leaders for the next 5 years. But it is the same who are going to continue. How can you be here eating chips?
Yeah, but
and so that's one. The second thing is an all-powerful, all-pervasive president himself. He is all-powerful. It will take a lot of organization, a lot of teeth biting, a lot of nail biting. But when even any group organizes, any taxi drivers, traders, when they organize, he concedes.
Yeah.
So you don't see that voice of the young people making a movement. They factionalize. So I think while they can claim that they are being silenced, they also must agree that the chips and bottles of whatever you described in the hotels, they are silencing themselves.
Yeah, but she raises a serious issue of the messaging not targeting the majority.
Because they are not threatening anyone.
Hey.
They are not. She's a teacher. How many times have the teachers threatened that the man had to look for a way of dividing them, and they agreed to be divided? That you see science. I think you are a science teacher. They increased the salary. The science teacher said, now we have our own group, we are going. But it is because the teachers had pushed and squeezed the fellow.
He conceded that.
Yes, to the point. So imagine the majority of the population if they worked to squeeze this man. Oh God, this man would make concessions.
All right. I don't know if Namirembe have.
I'm sure Namirembe wants to
comment
rebut.
Honestly, I wouldn't say that. Thank you so much.
That you are the problem of yourselves. You are your own problem. You lament, yet you have the power.
True, I would say that indeed we have the power. But when you look at the system, how the system is set, then even a young person who believes they have the power, somehow they feel complacent. You will agree with me, look at our electoral system. Now, for example, my race, we are voted for by just delegates at the district level and the sub-county level. That's a small group of people. And normally it is nominated by the NRM. Now, at the end of the day, there is no way you will tell me that this young person has no power. But the system, they do not have even the right to vote for their leaders. How can a regional youth MP just be voted by a small group of people? At the end of the day, you're leaving the majority out. They are excluded out. That's what I'm talking about, that we are being suppressed by the system. But that one cannot stop us, and we are not saying we are lamenting. Actually, we have the power, and we are ready to mobilize ourselves to stand on our ground for this nation. But we cannot fail to say that this system, the electoral system, should change. Me, I suggest that a regional youth MP should be voted by every youth because we are the majority. How could we be voted by a small group of people? And how can a whole parliament, occupied by over 300 members of parliament, and the youth seats are only 5? Only 5.
You want more?
I'm not saying we want more. I'm saying that if we are the majority, 73%, let at least, if it is Western region, have Ankole, a youth member of parliament. Chigezi, a youth member of parliament. Bunyolo, a youth member of parliament. And then
that's at sub-regional level.
At sub-regional level. Then there we can have real representation. Because there is no decision that is going to be made on behalf of the youth without us. If you look at how these people are being voted for, at the end of the day, the youth are excluded. And I can say that we are not lamenting. We are saying that the system is not favoring us. And that's why, as Blesius Namirembe, I'm coming to say that we need change in the electoral reforms.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. The youth are, the youth seem not to be satisfied with what is happening, and talking about dissatisfaction from the youth, from the Gen Zs. We cross to Tanzania, where the youth are on the streets, and it is now day 4 of protests after that election on Wednesday, which actually I can see the results coming in, which show that Samia Suluhu is winning, or actually has been declared as the winner of that election with 98% of the vote. 97.6% of the vote. And according to the Tanzania Electoral Commission, Suluhu garnered 31.9 million votes out of 37 registered voters, while her closest rival Chaumu managed just a paltry 0.65% of the total vote. Of course, the announcement comes after days of protests, and the major cities in Tanzania are on fire. And those are the issues perhaps we need to interrogate. Things are happening across this region, and there are serious matters of concern. Listening to what is coming in from Sudan, mass killings happening in Sudan. There is an uncertainty in Kenya after, of course, we witnessed waves of protests and the death of Raila Odinga. I don't know how the politics will unfold after the death of the main opposition figure in Kenya. We have an election here in Uganda, and also looking at the position of Tanzania in the interest of Uganda as a country. It's where our oil is supposed to go through as it goes to the onto the international market. We are building a pipeline, and the country is on fire. The UN Human Rights released a report last evening indicating that hospitals are actually flooded with people who are injured. The BBC reported that about 500 people have died in these protests. But also, it is clear that the internet was shut down in Tanzania. The news reports from Tanzania are very, there is that censorship that you can hardly get a clear picture of what is happening on the ground, and looks like Her Excellency Samia Suluhu is not ready to relent. Dr. Wanzala, quickly take us through what you take of what is happening in Tanzania and its impact on the politics and democracy in this region.
No, thank you very much, Apollo, for that. I think for me, this is a topic I'm very passionate about. As a former candidate of IALA in 2017, because I'm really passionate about integration and states coming together to achieve common objectives. Democracy in this region and in Africa is declining. If you look at the West Africa, we had a number of military coups. Mali is under military leadership. Burkina Faso is under a strong man. We have Niger is under a strong man. And Gabon, where a general, of course that one was quick to quickly metamorphosize into a civilian and hold elections such that the country can move forward quickly. But the rest, in the 21st century, we are seeing heads of state with military wear putting pistols around the waist and positioning themselves as if they are new, as if we have never seen Idi Amin before doing a similar thing, or Emperor Patase, or we saw them with the same posturing. And at the end of the day, they did not achieve anything, they did not achieve much, and they collapsed. So East Africa, in the formation of our states around, if you look critically backwards, we had a feudal system We came to the 60s, independence struggles. Then we had a period of military coups. And then we had this fashion of the 90s, the breed of new African leaders who were being praised, including our own, for ushering in democracy, bringing in new constitutions, the best constitutions in the world, involvement of people in electing their leaders, and they were praised. I remember when President Clinton came here, he's the one who pronounced the issue of breed of new African leaders in reference to President Museveni, Kagame, Jerry Rawlings in Ghana, and there was hope. And so for a period of about 20-something or to 30 years, in Kenya, I think from 1990, when multi-party returned, then up to now, there was hope that there was resemblance of democracy taking place in the region. Now today, when I saw East Africa trying to expand very, very quickly, from the original 3 to Rwanda and the Burundi joining, and then others bring the number to 8 very quickly. Some of us were very concerned. I remember I sat in this very chair and I said, but focusing on the size, bragging when we meet as presidents that the summit, we are now over 300 million people, we are a big market, we are, we can attract investment. I said, but can't we look about the software of our governance? Because you can be proud of bringing Somalia, you're just boosting the numbers, but there's no investment you'll get because the investor has no guaranteed security.
Yeah, but the integration can also perhaps help on matters of governance, like how we have intervened in the Congo, in the DRC, to somehow quell the instabilities that have been happening in that country. And
those are quick fixes, because those are quick fixes that there is a fire, then Uganda takes soldiers to DRC or to Juba now, like we are in Juba. Are we going to continuously baby Salva Kiir just because he feels that the next president should be his son-in-law? His vice president, Ball, a son-in-law who marries his daughter. These are the things. You don't care about other democratic institutions, but you care about the family. And then the country like Uganda spends a lot. I know it's our market, but you cannot, intervene because we also a small economy. We have young people, very many who need jobs. We have broken roads. Yesterday I was driving in the flood. I hit my car. I was in the garage. The whole day. So we also need our resources to help Ugandans, not to be in charge of stabilizing.
So you're concerned about the software, the democracy.
Yes,
politics.
Look at the European Union, which I think is a model, kind of federation of states. Before you join the European Union, apart from the geography, in fact, for them, even geography may not be very important because they are members of the EU, like Cyprus, in the Mediterranean Sea, much more closer to Asia, even Turkey, than others. But they will look at your institutions, democratic institutions. Are you in line with their values, dignity of a human being? The environment. Do you have institutions that support a democratic government to stay, to guarantee stability, rule of law, freedom of expression, free media, access to justice, and they tick those boxes. And if you don't fulfill, they can even expel you from the. So they mean it when they say they want to do it. Now go and read the documents of the East African Community on the website. Good governance is one of them for you to become a member. One is geography, proximity to the region. The other is you must demonstrate commitment to democracy and rule of law and good governance. Now look at our states right now. Okay, Tanzania has been, of course, a one-party. I call it a one-party system because actually CCM has been dominating, and CCM has been actually very brutal. Like the election that brought in Magufuli, almost everybody was beaten in Zanzibar. Reason why? For a long time when Mzee Nyerere forged the relationship with Karume. The party in Zanzibar which was ruling was the Civic United Front. In Tanzania was Chama cha Mapinduzi now. So for long, they used to have that arrangement of the two parties. But in the election that brought Magufuli, the Civic United Front rebelled, the one of Zanzibar, and decided to back former Prime Minister Lowassa, who was being backed by opposition Chadema. So in the process, CCM went on rampage, beating everybody. By noon, I think the Zanzibar elections had stopped, and they declared the Chama cha Mapinduzi having taken over. But everyone would see that the opposition was sweeping Zanzibar with almost 100%. So there was that anger. Today, we have a president of Tanzania who is running for her, because she completed Magufuli's office. She's running for first term. She goes on imprisoning all the major competitors. It's like if President Musa would imprison Bobby Wine, imprison everybody else. And then you go in an election with, say, with a very weak candidate. I will not mention any names here. Or let me say Katumba Oye, because the previous. So you plant there Katumba John, and then you say that I'm in an election. So what the Gen Zs did, they said, no, we are not turning up to vote. Instead, we are turning up to fight on the voting day. Say that materials are not delivered, we destroy. Now, this is my appeal to the leaders that are taking Africa. There's a sweeping Gen Z revolution, which started many years in Arab Spring in Africa because of low penetration of technology and so forth. It delayed. But today we are digitizing. You look at Uganda itself and access to internet, the figures are very high. We have emergence of populists who take advantage of dissatisfaction, unemployment, land grabbing, and so forth. So that anger is generated in society. And I think that's why President Museveni sometimes releases. He said, okay, he will allow you to compete, to be on the ballot. Because once people celebrate and support their candidates, they are able to release some anger which would have exploded. So how did this lady expect? And there are other underlying issues, like the main opposition leaders today, Tin Lusu and the other ones who are in prison are all from the mainland. The current president is from Zanzibar, and Zanzibar also has another president there because it's exactly. So today, you see that these people actually, the mainland people are also not happy that for the first time, all leaders are from Zanzibar, not the mainland. So
there has been simmering anger.
Yes.
Latent anger within the Tanzanians for all this time. It is now exploding. That is what you're saying.
Absolutely. And then we have probably a leadership in Tanzania that is not able to critically analyze and maybe analyze the impact, the likely outcome of what's going, because the issue is that I want to prove that I'm in charge. I want to prove that I'm in charge. I want to show power. But even as you know power, we should know that the people are supreme. Look at our constitution. It doesn't only say that power belongs to the people, but if you go to Article 3, it says that if anybody tries to abrogate the constitution of the Republic of Uganda, citizens have the right to use any available means to ensure that they stop that person. So that a person, it isn't our constitution, using every possible means to stop anyone who abrogates the constitution. So, but because some articles don't sound, so I believe that if we don't focus on the governance aspect in Africa, we are doomed.
We are doomed.
We are doomed if we don't. We need to understand people's problems and also design the strategies to solve the problems. Even when we want to stay longer in power, we can achieve that. But let's try to see that the lives of people improve. We see my friends, the Chinese who educated me, people call them autocratic. Of course, because you know their system. You can't just join the communist part of China. You must be recommended. You can be expelled from the party anytime. And then it is in a coalition with other socialist parties together, ruling together. There is no this competitive election, but they are sensitive. When the Xinjiang province, for instance, the Muslims want to say we are not part of China. While they squeeze and jail. They also go and invest in infrastructure. They, to try to the rail to improve their lives, such that as they improve on the radical ones, they are also improving the lives of the rest. So that they integrate,
which has eluded
most of the African because
leaders.
Today in the 21st century, with all the banks we have, with everything, would we be stealing from our own to go and hide abroad when they are frozen? We begin running around.
Thank you so much, Doctor. And I give you much time because you said you are passionate about this issue, and seems you have a lot. You had a lot and a lot more to share about it. But it gives us a background of what we have to discuss in the second hour, continuing to dig deep into these concerns of deteriorating democracy within the East African region. And for your viewers, I implore you to be ready to participate in the program by sending in your observations and comments. But I have to, of course, break this news that the Electoral Commission of Tanzania has declared Samia Suluhu the winner of the Wednesday polls by 97.66% of the votes cast. And that is 31.9 million votes out of 37 million registered voters. And of course, we have to only wait to see what will happen, because looks like the Gen Zs are not ready to concede, and perhaps what can they do, and what does that mean to the region at large. Let's go for a short break. When we return, the dialogue will continue to explore those and other issues. Don't go away. We'll return after this short while.
Femunyo. Kampala was the genesis, taking over the city and the outskirts on 107. Now covering the whole nation and beyond. Bududa, Palisa, Budadiri, Budaka, Mbale, Sironko, Busia, Tororo, Bukedea, Butaleja, Chibuga, Chankwanzi, Mitiana, Mubende, Chiwale, Chenjojo, Chegegwa, Chiruhura, Zimbabwe, Raka, Gomba, Yantunde, Masaka, Kalungu, Luengo, Utambala, Bukomansimbi, Kagadi, Mbarara, Chinja, Bunyangabu, Toroko, Bundibujo, Kasese, Kamwenge, Chitagwenda, Burahia, Rengoma, Karambi, Mukuso. Anywhere in Uganda, Old FM got you covered. 107 Kampala, 97.5 Mubende, 102.6 Mbale, 95 Mbarara, 98.2 Jinja, 90.3 Fort. Advertise with us and make your business known to every Ugandan and the rest of the world. Esala ya Mukama waffe. Matayo essula ey'omukaaga olunyiriro olw'omwenda. Kitaffe ali mu ggulu, erinnya lyo litukuzibwe. Obwakabaka bwo bujje, by'oyagala bikolebwe mu nsi nga bwe bukolebwa mu ggulu. Otuwe leero emmere yaffe eya leero. Otusonyiwe ebibi byaffe nga naffe bwe tusonyiwa abatukola obubi. Totutwala mu kukemebwa, naye otulokola eri omubi. Kubanga obwakabaka n'obuyinza n'ekitiibwa bibyo emirembe n'emirembe. Amiina.
kozesa momo n'oba olina amaanyi g'okutunga ibanja jubajuba hatali okuteganisibwa abasimu yawe imata star 165 star 5 hashi okulondaho aha miringo etagi emwe n'emwe ey'okwehora obase kwehora akasente wona iwakendera kandi sente zaako olyo n'oshashuta ibanja n'obasa kwoniserezaho uri kukozesa momo advance egyo niyo momo amaani agari kukuleetera kukiraho.
The temperature of the water that I drink does not really count for hydration. Many times, whether it's cold or hot or warm, all contribute to hydration. However, the temperature improves comfort. So during a hot season, I'd rather take cold water because that gives me a more refreshed feeling. While if I'm having a meal, warm water is better for digestion. So choose the temperature of water that makes you drink water consistently.
Salt Media myaka 11 tukyusiza obulamu tuleese essuubi tubunyisiza enjiri ya Mukama waffe Yesu Kristo. Salt Media ku myaka 11 buno bwe bujulizi.
Ono itungo Precious nkubidde bano ekireka natandika okusaba ne Salt Media omwaka oguwedde mu September nga tuli mu kiwo kya nakwana mubi nagamba Mukama sisigala mu housemaid nga ntandika okusaba ne Pastor Bugingo ekyamazima Mukama yabunzijjamu kati nyamba z'abagole byesasomerera anange
myaka 11 ejja Salt Media omunnyo gusensedde
nyinza ntyo buteebaza.
Soul Television, Femunyo.
Welcome from the break, and this is the dialogue on Soul TV. My name is Prince Apollo. We are still interrogating the circumstances surrounding the democracy in the East African region, and more specifically looking at the Tanzanian election, as the Tanzanians went to polls on Wednesday, and the election that has resulted into the re-election or the declaration of Her Excellency Samia Suluhu with a landslide of 97.66%, but also an election where the major contenders, the major opposition, were not allowed to participate. And this has triggered widespread criticism, but also protests. And the major cities in Tanzania are on fire. We've witnessed incidents of destruction of property, loss of lives, and I also hinted on the report by BBC indicating that more than 500 lives could have been lost in those 4 days of protests, and we're relating to what this means to the region, the neighbors, and more especially that we are in the middle of an election here in this country, where we also hear voices of dissatisfaction, like the youth candidate has said that the issues of the youth are not being addressed during these campaigns, but also we also know that even our neighbors in Kenya have been of course, the youth have been also, on the streets for several times, and even the neighbors in Sudan are also in a state of serious conflict. Those mass killings happening in is it called what is that region where the rapid response forces
Mm-hmm.
yes, took over the area, and they are seriously killing people. Richard, what do you see happening across this region, but more especially relating to the unrest in Tanzania and the discontent within different political groups in this region?
I think I see Namirembe getting a job. I see Namirembe getting a job not as a member of parliament, but in government.
Yes, Prophet Richard.
Yeah. I keep saying that I say things here because I know they are recorded. Yeah. So Apollo, there are many things in this, but it is not new. The Tanzanian situation is not new.
Really? Because we've been looking at Tanzania as a peaceful country for a very long time. Actually, we are asking ourselves why we have had conflicts all over the region, but in Tanzania, at least we have not heard of a serious conflict.
Yeah, but
for a very long time.
With all due respect, Prince Apollo, I cannot be responsible for your squinted eyes. Your squinted political eyes looking at situations. I am not saying you, because you say we. I'm saying you analysts. So, Dr. Werike is the researcher. Said the opposition leader, forget this one, the other one. Lowassa is called.
The former one was Luyasa. This one
previously was what?
Was Prime Minister.
Prime Minister.
So why do you say there was no conflict? Why do we analysts say there was no conflict? If a Prime Minister breaks away and go to form an opposition,
Chadema,
and you say there is no conflict?
And it's supported by Civic United Front, which has always...
Yeah, but every time they had elections, we have not seen these altercations like we have seen, or we saw after 2011 elections here in Uganda, then after 2021 elections, even in Kenya, those
but to get to 2011, when was the first breakaway of the NRA? Yeah. 1991. Yeah. So you want what you did not contextualize was that when these cracks start, they will take time to reach the boiling point.
Yeah, true.
You expected the boiling point to be right there then? No. So I think that's this. So that's why I don't agree with the analysis that there has not been conflict.
But how they have managed them over time? How they change of leaders?
How they have mismanaged?
But they have been.
They should have had. No, they should have adopted our method.
Transitions.
They have adopted our method.
To Mwinyi, yes. To Mkapa. Chikwete.
They should have adopted our method. Our method of sharing. Our method of sharing. When people start disagreeing, you share. They have mismanaged their process by not sharing. I think for me that has been the problem. And that's one. The second one is I think it was this platform again when I said, for Chama Pinduzi, it's only a matter of time. It is KANU, it is UPC, it is the other Ghanaian one. All of them have faded. It's only a matter of time.
So it's not about Samia Suluhu?
No, nothing. She is in the right place at the wrong time. That's all. She is at the just wrong point of history. That's all. You see, when Suluhu, we tend not to refer to the fact that when President Magufuli died, the big boys had refused
Oh,
to accept Suruhu
yeah.
as the successor.
Yeah, true.
And then we said there is no conflict. So how do we know that the big boys have not been behind making it impossible for Suruhu to govern? So for me, when people say, oh, there has been no conflict, no. I go to Tanzania. I have friends in Tanzania. Several of them, by the way, who have been in the opposition, brutalized. One, he inherited businesses from the first. They all collapsed. They made them all collapse.
So we're wrong about the democracy in
Our
Tanzania,
analysis,
change of leaders, and
we're just wrong
and
about our analysis.
transition.
So see, can we take the countries where you have had more than 90% election win? We started with Tunisia. He had 90 whatever. Within 2 weeks,
the government collapsed.
So all these countries around us where people get 97%, is because democracy is good.
Yeah, but our
We
neighbor,
have
our neighbor got, is it 97 or
and how many opposition candidates were there? Even the media. So you see, this analysis for me, I don't share. The third thing that I have said here, the people who go to demonstrate don't plan like you plan a workshop or a conference. Wirike will stand go and book Unambore, they will refuse, then he goes and books another one.
they just go?
These people, the point
street.
of coming on the streets, no one issues an invitation card. No one says, I am the leader. The thing has been simmering. The conflict has been existing, and it has reached eruption point. And it is there, it erupts you. The only regrettable and sad thing is that wherever there has been an eruption, there has been continued death, chaos, breakdown, and so the objective of the eruption have not been met. In fact, there has been a reversal.
Like in Sudan.
Whole Libya, Sudan, Tunisia, wherever they have been. I can even say with confidence that Kenya will be deeper in debt. Kenya will be poorer than it was after these running battles. Not wealthier. No. And so that is the only regrettable, sad thing. But the revolutions don't end into improvement.
Should it be a concern to we Ugandans here, seeing what is happening in Tanzania?
But Apollo,
and just
Apollo,
because
I have told you,
just because we are in the middle of the same
not
process.
because we are in the middle. I have told you, Apollo, that you cannot say that for you are too strong for your population. It's not true. It is a lie.
It is an illusion
to pretend that you are too strong for your population. Our army is too strong. Nothing. We who are here now, 33 of us with 27 guns, was the army not strong? So there is nothing. There is nothing happened. I have insisted that we must behave in a manner that preserves us. And if we don't, we shall ban everything like it bans elsewhere. That's what I've been saying. And some of the actions we have taken, that's why we come and decry them, even at the risk of knowing that we can have male bees come for us. But we still, because for us to talk about these things is about self-preservation. And we are not talking about individuals, we are talking about national self-preservation. And so, yes, Apollo, we are in danger. Absolutely.
Are we doing anything? Are we doing anything?
Oh, yeah, we are doing some things, of course. We will give Namirembe a job. And you know where Namirembe belongs. Then we calm the situation down for some 5 years or so. Yeah, we will restrain so much and allow people to have crowds.
I'm worried about the events happening. We saw what happened in Parliament when the Nation Media Group was blocked from covering Parliament, and first from State House, and now Parliament, and it has been a significant concern, even on the floor of Parliament and outside Parliament. But we are in the middle of it, and it is still out there in public discourse.
Don't compare Parliament and the president's situation
I am asking
with
you,
the national media group. First separate the two.
I'm asking you, Richard, do you see these issues perhaps getting to another level and becoming a serious concern within this election period?
I want to first separate. You see, the national media group, before it was a national media group, it was the Monitor, and previously, the same people were at the weekly topic. I have been in the media for quite a while. They have had a love-hate relationship with President Museveni for all the years, including closure. Now they have told one team not to come. But previously, we have had closure. Closure, yes, they looked them up. So this love-hate relationship is not new with President Museveni.
Consequential.
President Museveni has sued this group before, and he was awarded, I don't know what, 450 million. During when they said the jab, that he got a jab with his family. Yeah, and that's why I want you to be cautious about BBC. They sourced that story from BBC. So this thing BBC has reported, BBC, watch out. But they have also sued government, you know.
Monitor.
The National Media Group for the closure. I'm told they have been awarded some good billions, but everybody has kept quiet about it because you see, they are businesses. They also have to understand, and they are businesses who are sister to other businesses. So how much do you fight without affecting the empire? Because it's an empire, it's part of the empire, which also promotes some people's interests. Because it's a business empire. So they have been hard. What is interesting is the copycat nature, the attempt at copycat by some individuals who have temporary positions in government. They are not clever. I don't know why, and I don't know how they are advised by people who were protesting on the streets the other day for the same problem. They are now occupying these positions of advice, and they are misdirecting their principles. This holding, we have seen how many people have been quote unquote powerful over the 40 years, and they have gone. Don't pretend to be President Museveni. No, don't. You pay a price, but you pay a higher price. Let the monitor come. Let the monitor come.
So that shouldn't be a concern.
Manage them.
They will manage it.
I know. I can tell you that, for example, now State House and the National Media Group are speaking. They are resolving the problem. The other party, which is copying the behavior of this one, copying convoy, copying I don't know what. Please don't. You are not the first, and by the way, you are the least. You are the least powerful. You are the least trusted.
But the issues of Tanzania should be our concern.
No, they have been. For me, at least, I have been voicing them here. And if you listen carefully, they have been generous voicing them. They have been very senior inner politicians voicing these ones. If you look at some of the strategy papers, these things have been talked about. So the concern is genuine, and it is there.
Thank you. Let me hear from you, Namirembe. What do you make of events happening across the border in Tanzania, and especially that it involves the youth, whom I think you represent from this side, and their interests?
Okay. I would like to pass a question to you. Of course, you've asked me, but are the voices of the young people, of the youth in Tanzania, in Sudan, in Uganda, in Kenya, being heard?
They have been heard on the street in Sudan, in Kenya, Tanzania.
Of course, being heard on the street brings out the other picture, that these people have continuously been ignored. If you let the youth and you do not plan for them as a government, these are the majority. They finished the university and they are on the streets. They have no jobs. What do you expect that person to do at the end of the day? So still it comes back to our governments that it is high time they sit and plan for this growing young population. And they should not look at the young people, at us as a burden, but should look at us as the greatest opportunity East Africa could ever have. They should plan innovation hubs. I'm looking at Uganda having innovation hubs in every district. We can achieve that as a country. Why not? Why do you have to allow these people finish the university, join the world of employment, unemployed? At the end of the day, these people are open-minded, free, full of energy, and they have nothing to do. They are unemployed, the conditions are harsh. Even those who are putting their small businesses to start up, you're taxing their businesses. So, you're complacing this young person to the extent that they have no any other option apart from exploding. And if we do not look at that as a country, Uganda, and we plan very well for this growing population of the young people, then at the end of the day, you will see us on the streets.
Did I hear President Museveni promise to put up a graduate fund? Did you hear that?
Of course, continuously we have had all those promises. But like I've told you, such funds, what we have as a country is called behavior, behavior decline. People no longer have the morals. When those funds come, by not putting the clear way of holding these people accountable, then at the end of the day, still the young people do not receive that money. You just release the funds, lands in a certain group of people who are selfish, and then still the purpose is not served. So to me, I say that if these funds are released, let there be a clear budget. They said this percentage is going to the youth. Clear allocation so that even the young people can help in holding these people accountable. Yes.
And finally, what do you think is the direction, or will be the direction the events in Tanzania take after this declaration that Samia Suluhu won this controversial election?
Yes, of course, the direction, like I've said, I will continuously tell everyone who is watching us today that if we cannot prioritize the needs of the young people, and if you see what is happening even now in Tanzania, if the voices of the young people are still continuously being suppressed, then at the end of the day, the violence will continue. They might not come back on the streets, but the violence will continue and Tanzania will never have peace again. So to me, I say that, yes, she has been declared. Let them go on the drawing board. Plan for these young people. We don't want to see unemployment. We don't want to see the young people looking at their future collapsing in their hands. So we want a clear plan of how best we can occupy the young people in different decision-making areas. We can occupy them in the innovation sectors.
We'll be reading out those messages in a while. And I have a quick announcement here. Charles James Senkobuge, who is the general manager for Salt Media, is informing family and friends that his mobile phone was stolen and no one should accept any call coming from his contact numbers asking for money or any sort of help. Please be cautious, and it is signed Charles James Senkobuge, and that's one form of fraud that has been happening in this country, where people steal phones and then use the contact list in those phones to extort, and that is why this is an issue that we should take caution about. And Dr. Wanzala, the events, what do you think is the direction the events in Tanzania will take, these events will take after this declaration? Do you think the Gen Zs will go back to their unemployment? Do you think it is time, possibly, for the administration to call them out and address their issues? What do you think will happen? Or possibly, do you think it is time for we, the neighbors, to lend a hand? Anyway,
yeah, it's a mouthful.
When we had a serious issue of Idi Amin, Tanzania came to our rescue. Anyway, where is the East African community? Can it do anything about this?
Well, the East African community, in this case, what you call a secretariat. We have, of course, the secretariat, the Council of Ministers, the Parliament, and the summit. Now, the summit could be the most influential in terms of resolving this, because the summit...
Those are presidents.
Brings presidents. But which presidents are we talking about? Because what is happening in these countries, in Kenya, Uganda, they are similar, but appearing just in different forms. So I don't have hope that a lot is going to be achieved through the... And we saw when Kenya was burning in 2007, the force came from the diplomats from the Western capitals and through the African Union, Kofi Annan, and that's how they reached the power sharing agreement. But also, the circumstances were different, because in the Kenyan case, the opposition leader who had been declared losing the election had swept almost the whole parliament, majority in parliament. Raila had clear majority that time. But of course, he had to swallow the pride and say, okay, I control the house. Let me be prime minister, I also appoint half of cabinet. But the pressure did not come from the East African community. It came from outside the East African community. You asked me, what's going to happen? Is it going to create opportunities for youth, maybe something to change? Right now, Tanzania is in a blackout of internet as I speak. It implies that all the people who transact business through internet are not working. That's loss of business. It doesn't help the economy. 2, the infrastructure investment. By the way, Tanzania has invested, especially the last, the first term of Magufuli and this lady's term shared with the late Magufuli. They have completed a lot of infrastructure projects, be it building schools, be it rail, be it roads, expanding roads in the capital, changing the capital, Dodoma, building a new government. There have been reformers. There's no question about that. But this shows that even with all these investments, if you don't value the dignity of the people, similar to what Richard said, that the chest thumping, that you can be more powerful than your whole country, your people, I think that's a lesson we need to learn. But the other, of course, like you quoted the BBC 500 dead. I checked France 24. It's about 700, estimated to be 700 dead, especially in the Dar es Salaam and Mwanza, and the death toll will go up. But in a sane society, Kenya's conflict in 2007 birthed the 2010 constitution, where people said, well, we have fought, but I think we rather reform certain ways. We saw the birth of the Majimbo, that is the devolution to counties. We saw the 2 houses introduced, putting the number of MPs in the constitution, that we don't want more than this number of MPs to represent the constituencies. Not like here where we're giving constituencies like cakes because we want people to eat. Okay? They said that. They said, I think we need to introduce, some women, some men, some youth, some people with disabilities. So you can learn from a situation. But for Tanzania right now, I don't know even where the dialogue starts from. Probably if we take the Kenyan scenario where these powerful countries intervene, because honestly Tanzania has been a key factor of stability. Look at growth. They have been achieving good growth figures. They are tourism that, they attract the huge number of tourists in Serengeti and so forth. So for us, we have just opened the southern route as Uganda. You know that we are building ships here through Lake Victoria Logistics. There's some Indian companies, and now we have some fuel coming in through the Lake Victoria, and so that stability of our neighbors is key.
It's very key.
And the big boys should not probably take side. They should look at the situation as it unfolds objectively, because stability of Tanzania is key to the region.
And before I go back to Richard, I implore you to make a comment on the incident I talked about, the attack by gunmen. No, they are not actually gunmen, but panga-wielding thugs. That's the reports I'm getting here in Kasese and Bundugwijo. And the reports indicate that about 4 have been gunned down. They attacked a police barracks, torched it, and there were 9 attackers confirmed, 1 dead, 30 have been arrested. It's a developing story. We'll get the details later. But what a moment at this time during campaigns. And we've had incidents of panga-wielding men in Mpigi area and Mubende. What is happening, and what does that mean now?
I think I'm not privy to a lot of information from security, but as an observer, I can look at the trends and pose questions. Towards 2016, we had the killing of women and girls around Kampala metropolitan area. At that time, I saw General Kaihura very active, visiting families, giving envelopes, and it was towards 20. Then we had Kasese erupting around the same time, and the invasion of the palace of the Omusinga, and the killings there on both sides. The government lost, security lost people, and the Bakonjo people also killed. It's one of the sad episodes we had in this country. It also came towards the elections. That was 2015. We saw towards 2021, the panga-wielding people came, Masaka, Chotera, Luengo, that's Greater Masaka. And immediately after elections, we saw 2 MPs from the opposition incarcerated, linked to the panga. But if you have never convicted anybody, so up to now we don't know what happened. I can't accuse the late MP Sejirinya or Alan Sewanyana. So today, again, we're in 2025, we are going to elections. We are seeing panga-wielding people around Mpigi, Mukono, and of course Wakiso, and now you are talking about Kasese. Why do they follow similar trends? Why is it that they start a year to elections? I think probably if I was an investigator, that angle is one of those I would look at. What is the motivation? Why? Why before elections? What message are they trying to send? I think I leave it at that.
Richard, what do you make of this report of assailants attacking a police station in Kasese?
So the panga-wielding story, the panga-wielding thug story has not gone away. No, it's a continuous story. I think what has made it a little bit more attention-grabbing is that now they attack the police station. But the other day they attacked a soldier and took 70 million and a pistol from his vehicle. I think it was last week. The week earlier or so, the Nsanji Police Division had an operation about those panga-wielding. They call everybody panga-wielding thugs. The ones who use kataimbwa, the ones who use akanyondo, everybody now becomes panga-wielding. But we have had, in August, in my city, in Mbarara, we had the police there petitioned that more than 4 people had been killed or hacked or whatever by panga-wielding. So it's a story that has not has not stopped. What I think has become attention grabbing now is that it's a police station that has been attacked. But this month, last month, October, I think when you see the sweeps, as they call them, you have more than 100 people who have been detained in and around Kampala.
Yeah, in swoops.
Yeah, for around the Panga wielding story. So because it was not catching, I think, that level of headline, getting that attention, we are not paying attention to it. And so this is a story that has not.
Yeah, but I'm trying to connect these incidents with what is happening in the region and especially at this time of elections. I don't know if you think it should be another matter of concern.
Yeah, but you see, I told you the elections are not about, the campaigns are not about issues. We have not been talking about issues. No. we don't discuss, I don't know. The whole time we don't discuss personal security. No, we talk about the security of our borders. But we don't discuss personal security.
Very true.
No. So that's what I've been telling you. We don't discuss deaths, all the things that kill us, the hackings we get. They are all these stories every other night. They are break-ins and people are cut. If you look at if you were to compound the story, the reports at the police station, you would see that we have a real challenge.
A real challenge.
A real challenge. But we don't talk about personal security. That's why I was thinking that, you see, I have been trying to get a national conference on urban crime. We have the GFB, and we have appealed to the people and there's no attention. I don't know why I get into these causes, but I find myself getting into these causes. Where you can see our emails with my people.
Okay, let me read the comments as they come in. Hello, hope all is well this morning here in the United Republic of Chirinya. We are just cool, like hot fire. Our prayers to our neighbors in Tanzania, and we hope the situation doesn't spill over into the neighborhood. More so, the landlocked countries, because we shall suffer most. It's really hard to advise these EEC incumbents to rein in more so when they are the ones who told her bad manners of blocking out opponents. These are birds of the same feathers that flock together. It's only God who will help us. We should just let them be in those chairs till the Creator calls them himself. Otherwise, we are wasting taxpayers' money in elections in African countries. Look at Cameroon, look at Senegal, and elsewhere. Back home, my heartfelt condolences to the families of those who lost their people in the recent landslides in Kwen and Buko. And on politics, sometimes when I hear police defend their wrongdoings, I don't get astonished. Who on earth do harm people? Laptop, fuel, jammer, deflate tires. Moreover, 4 of them. Where were you all this time around when this was happening? etc. Sometimes just follow the humble pie and acknowledge that you are doing everything possible to prove these guys have valid reason to decrease their numbers by arresting them. Like Richard said, you are finding all means to make sure you use your tear gas. I think he's relating to that incident in Elila and asking police where they were when the laptops were being taken, and they have to wait until midnight to break into the hotel and effect those arrests. But I think it is the police spokesperson who talked about it, and he said it is now their strategy. They will not tear gas anyone because tear gassing the crowds, you even hurt the innocent. That this time round the strategy is going for those real culprits. They will not use tear gas or these methods of in their crowd control. I don't know if you can respond to your colleague in Chirinya?
Yeah, they say they shouldn't use tear. Maybe that's why they went to tear gas rooms. but that is again too extreme. It's too extreme. And my colleague from the United Republic, Major Joel Otim, did not. I'm surprised they are not crowd loud about the insecurity Richard is talking about. In Chirinya, we have an estate called Akrite. These are residentials of middle class. And with walls, some nice compounds inside, but I'm telling you, they are the most risky places now. I don't know now whether people are coming from the ghetto to attack those in the fences. I don't know. But I've had a colleague who has now decided, who has bought 3 dogs just to have security around himself. He had 1, they killed 1. Now he has 3, and they helped him capture a thug at the other.
So crime is actually.
We are talking about so this security of absence of war, and that is the one that the head of state keeps talking about. As Uganda is now very peaceful and secure, but security of individual security, there is a huge problem. A lady died the other day there because someone was pulling her bag when she was on a border at a traffic light. So she fell down and crashed her head because someone wanted basically her phone and a small bag.
Robert from Namaingo says thanks for the program. The current competence-based education curriculum in Uganda can able address the youth unemployment in our country if properly implemented, because it can effectively enable job creation and innovation among the young people. What should be done is to minimize corruption tendencies amidst its implementation. I don't know if you think, Blessing, that can be a solution now.
Very, very true. When you look at the new curriculum, being a teacher, I'm a classroom teacher. I teach biology and physical education at St. Joseph's SS Bogolovi and St. Joseph's Girls in Zambia. When you look at the new curriculum and how it is designed, surely it is the best that this country can take on. But still, it comes back to the process of implementation. So, to me, I think that the curriculum is already designed, put in place, but let's also put ways on how to implement it, because this is a curriculum that is very expensive. If you're to do any subject, I would use an example of my own physical education, where the learners, whatever you're to use, these are expensive equipments. You have to purchase them. There are few schools in Uganda who can manage. Me, I'm in private schools, but I'm a UPE product. So when I look back in my village and look at the schools there, they cannot afford the new curriculum. So to me, I think that as they plan and put the new curriculum in place, still it is the role of the government to set a standard budget concerning quality education and invest in these schools to make sure that each school is equipped with what is needed. But this curriculum is the best. I can say that if we look into it and surely equip the schools, at the end of the day we shall achieve. We shall have the youth innovate, because I already have my students good innovators already, because I happen to get a chance to teach in schools that somehow are equipped. But I'm looking at a Ugandan at the village level. A Ugandan, I studied in Katete Primary School in Chulhula district. These are schools, and I also got a chance to teach in one of the schools there. It is called Chantuma Secondary School. It started a year back. It is still struggling. And when I was interacting...
Even in Chulhula?
Yes, in Chulhula district.
Chulhula was
very
struggling.
Well. Yes, I taught there for almost a year. I could leave this Kampala, travel in the night, in the morning, go and assist. And actually, I was doing volunteerism, because this is a school that has nothing, but to me and my heart to serve, I said I will always go to give a hand.
Okay.
But the school is not equipped, and when you to compare, you see that these Ugandans still are on a disadvantage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just 1 minute. Your comment on the rising incidents of crime and more specifically relating to what we're hearing in coming in from Kasese and Bundubujo area, the panga wielding attackers, even in Central Region. These are issues that have incidents that have been recurring.
Yeah.
Are you really concerned?
I'm so concerned. Of course, this is my country that I love so much. But when you look at the role of we citizens that we play in security, somehow I feel as Ugandans, we have left the security to be only for the police. And even the police itself is not doing the role of the police. The police is supposed to keep law and order and protect the people. But I will not mention names, and you will agree with me, we have some police officers who have continuously done corruption among the people they are supposed to protect. So at the end of the day, a Ugandan will just leave those issues for the sake of whoever suffers. But as a country, and I would like to call upon everyone watching me today, that it is our role to go back on the drawing board and know that this is our land and we are the people supposed to protect it. And I call on the young people that we are supposed to be the security of ourselves. Take watch of one another and let's see how to keep our country in order.
Good morning, Mr. Polo. What's Suruhu? He mentions people here. I don't know if I can. Anita Nabanja are doing to oppress opposition shows that they are guilty of their bad rule of dictating for the majority because they are in power. They are showing that East African ladies can't manage power, and I don't think they even understand what democracy is. It is James Inibale who sent in that message, and I will ask Dr. Wanzala, is it about women, this use of brute force?
Now, you see, this is a mistake we are making because yesterday I was in one office in Ntinda. It's an office of relatively young people. When I went to do a presentation, I found a lot of noise in the boardroom. And you know, the noise was the boys against the female against the male. Because the male were accusing the female of being poor managers, being poor politicians, and destroying institutions. And they were giving examples of women here and across, including Suluma. And the ladies were putting up a spirited fight. For me, I think it's not about gender, because I have seen Helen Salif, who stabilized Liberia. She was a woman. After stabilizing Liberia, she left, and then the footballer took over. And Liberia has not
George Weah.
Yet they are not sunk into deep. We are seeing the European Union, many leaders in Finland, even the president of the European Commission, they are women running the show, and so many female ambassadors here. For me, what is key is about the mentorship that someone got, the values you hold. Do you just come from nowhere, in the village, and then you take over and you, without a character to lead? And of course, if you come with that behavior, it will be seen in the kind of institution that you are running. For me, that is very critical. Most of these political parties, including where she has, have been supported to develop gender policies, supporting the girl child, the female leaders to emerge. And I think that is why I appeal to President Museveni that let's not destroy political parties. Because political parties, if well organized, are a very good infrastructure for nurturing leaders. UNSA, I cried a lot the other day on Thursday, almost shed tears. We had a lady of her age on the panel.
Students Association.
Yes, on the panel, and she was explaining her ordeal when she wanted to be the president of Uganda National Students Association. How she was called by a council of elders, how they call themselves. These are young people oppressing fellow young people. That council of elders, come here, we want to support you, but one, whose daughter are you? That is your family rich enough to raise about 350 million shillings? Okay, then your region, where do you come from? So she almost shed tears when she was giving her testimony at Sheraton Hotel. For me, I found it was a pity. When we were in Makerere, we supported those of Chirahanda, Yusuf. They were empty pockets. Those we found there, Patrick Okema, empty pockets. But they emerged, the Nobert Maos, they have the money, the Romshanas. If he tells you the story of Charles Romshana, where he came from Rashamel to become a guild president of Makerere with no penny, but believing in values and systems and what someone is going to offer. Okay. But we need to go to that. Not sexizing, genderizing.
Good morning, dear viewers. I wonder how can a person be convicted to attack a barracks with pangas, and you know they have guns for sure. Some people have an issue with okay. And looks like this is a person from the military who sent me this message. Okay, Chaine Senyonjo is watching, and he says, all well-meaning Ugandans should keep off and condemn every aspect of violence, whether associated with election or not. Number 2, it is regrettable that Tanzania, the land of Africa's great men and iconic President Mwalimu Nyerere, is on fire. A diplomatic approach is the way to go, but the state should not yield to criminal gangs and misguided hooligans. This is the time for the EAC standby force to prove its relevance. Chama cha Mapinduzi got messed by incarcerating key power contenders for Uganda. Chagulanyi, Nandala Muntu, and all powerful oppositionists are all over soliciting for votes. I wish to advise the anarchists in Uganda who may be tempted to mimic the TZ fiasco not to try. Our scenario is different, e.g. we have presidential skilling hubs, industrial parks, PDM loans, etc. all aimed at tackling unemployment. Struggle, yes, but peacefully. What do you pick from Chaine's? Because we have only 4 minutes to leave.
No, he should be here on the next show.
But can you... actually, I listened to... I read a comment from the Tanzanian Minister of Foreign Affairs that these are goons who... he said it's a group or a section of goons who want to cause instability or something.
Didn't Dr. Obote call the NRA bandits who are stealing cassava and people's food in Luwero, and they in power for... So for me, I think that's a language of arrogance that needs to be changed. It has been applying. We saw it in Sri Lanka. The president went very quickly, by the way, by the young, about 100,000 youth turning up at State House and people running away. This country near India, recently we saw...
Nepal.
Yes, our neighbor here in the Indian Ocean, neighboring Tanzania, Madagascar. We saw the army turning up and saying, don't kill civilians, telling police and helping airlift the president to go to France. Yesterday, I saw the Standard of Kenya reporting that the army is telling police in Tanzania not to kill people. So these things can always happen. I think we need to be reasonable.
Chinese tells the people here not to attempt this, he calls it a fiasco, not to try it here, of Tanzania.
No, but good enough, he has said let's condemn. He started with condemning violence. Yeah. I think that one I agree with him. But saying that it may not happen, it is possible.
Okay.
It is possible.
Just a minute as we conclude, just to find a word, Richard.
It will be a question. What is the world without violence?
Are you serious?
Do I seem like I'm joking?
Actually, you trigger something. Someone said that all these nuclear weapons, they are all made to kill a human being.
All great scientific discoveries are induced by domination, by having the highest form of violence, by having the greatest ownership of terror. So what is the world without violence?
Your final comment, Namirembe.
Thank you.
At least you can speak to the youth in this country.
Thank you, our dear viewers. I would like to first request and tell the young people that this is our time, that no matter what is happening now, we have a role to play in this, and we are the majority. If we can stand on our numbers and we choose the right way to do things, no matter how we have been disappointed with some of our elders already in the powers, but we have a role to play. And I would like to request the young people in the Western region that Blasius is the only option that you have to allow her represent you in the parliament. Please send me, and I can assure you that I'll be your voice. I will stand to make sure that our voices are heard and we are surely looked at in terms of our needs. Concerning what is happening and all the violence, it comes back to us. Let's stand in unity and believe that we have the power to change the status quo.
I didn't hear you tell them to come out and vote in large numbers.
Of course, like I've told you, I request for your support. Voting...
Not for you. For all other candidates. The leaders of their choice.
Yes. I like I've said, many of the young people actually, I would clearly say that they have lost hope in the democracy of our country. They have lost hope. But losing hope cannot be an option for us. We still have the chance to vote. We still have the chance to influence. We still have the chance to decide and vote for the people that we want, especially when it comes to the members of parliament. At least that one I know we still have the chance. So we can mobilize ourselves. Let's come together and make sure that we send in parliament leaders that stand on their integrity, leaders with a vision to take this nation to another level, leaders that look at Uganda not just today but in the next 10 to 5 years to come. I thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Blasius Namirembe, youth member of parliament candidate for Western region. I have to appreciate you, gentlemen and the lady. I have to appreciate our viewers. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next Saturday, when we come back with another edition of The Dialogue. To the production crew, thank you so much, and we can only pray that all goes well. Until we come back here, good afternoon. God bless you. God bless Uganda.
oluzukulu mukumandiga natera nga nyingiro ne banafa ba MTN wanji MTN walololo MTN gamba ki to get the power to win njagala ofune elyanyi okuwangula ogenda kuwangula ota ngenda kubanga bobukadde 10 buli wiki wanji ngenda kubanga kwasa obukadde 10 buli wiki ku simu ye nyinyi kyabonka kimuchoka line ya MTN bana beka buli ogenda okusasula ekintu kyonna ogenda okusasula ndakwese momo obulira buli ogenda okusasula ngenda kyosasula kyonna kozesa momo oyinza okubanga ngenda kwewola kasente kozesa momo wanji ogenda ku investinga kozesa momo abo MTN bwe jamanyi ne kwa bukadde 10 buli wiki wala kastejo bimala bwe pala wentandika ngamba kyekiriwo wanji nenkwata ku masimu ngamba halo walirudawa tenze tirinyi halo walirudawa zende gulu halo walirudawa ndi mutukula halo oliwa ndi mwanange ndi wano mu office ntode nyiga ma computer nenkuta awa namwe kasana benesi okuberanga mwana wote koze ebintu n'amanga epeyinze ebolowinze investinze ngekozesa momo. Remember to dial *165# or use the Momo app to borrow, to pay, to invest, and you could stand a chance to win 10 million weekly.